rough week, or real problem? It's the question every parent eventually asks. You're staring at a child who's been crying for the third day in a row, and a quiet voice starts asking, is this just a phase? Or a kid who used to love school suddenly won't get out of bed. Is it a phase, or is something really wrong? For years, most of us were taught to think in two boxes. Either a child is fine, or they have a diagnosable condition. That framing is wrong. And it does real damage in both directions. Mental health, for children, just like adults, exists on a spectrum. And learning to read where your child sits on it in any given week or season is one of the most valuable skills a parent can develop. On the far left, thriving, sleeping well, connecting with friends, handling frustration, and bouncing back from disappointments within a day or two. That's not a perfect child. It's just a child whose mental health is in good shape right now. Slide toward the middle, struggling. Irritability before a big test, clinginess after a friendship falls apart, stomach aches on Monday mornings. These symptoms are real, and they deserve attention, but they're often temporary responses to temporary stressors. Keep sliding right, suffering. Here, symptoms aren't linked to a clear stressor. They persist 2 weeks or more. They impair school, friendships, appetite, or sleep. And they don't improve with the usual toolkit of extra hugs, reassurance, and a good weekend. The spectrum matters because our response should match where our child actually is, not where our fear imagines them to be. Here's a story from my own research. 2 children. Nearly identical symptoms. Won't go to school, won't eat well, crying constantly. 2 terrified parents asking the same question. One was grieving a friendship breakdown, and with the right support tools, she stabilized within 3 weeks. The other had shown the very same patterns, quietly, for nearly 5 months, with no clear trigger. He needed professional intervention. Same symptoms on the surface, completely different needs. And that's the danger of binary thinking. It cuts both ways. Treat every bad week as a disorder, and we teach kids that ordinary distress is an illness. Dismiss persistent suffering as a phase, and we miss the windows where early help matters most. Now, 2 warning signs parents consistently miss. First, physical symptoms with emotional roots. Stomach aches every Sunday night, headaches with no medical cause, fatigue that sleep doesn't fix. Children aren't great at naming emotions, but their bodies express them anyway. My tummy hurts can mean I'm anxious. Second, the quiet, compliant kids. The girl who's deeply worried, but still finishes every assignment. The boy who holds it together all day at school and falls apart only at bedtime. Kids who act out get flagged quickly. The quiet ones need us to look more carefully. Other countries read the spectrum very differently. The Netherlands screens every child, universally, from birth to 18. Free, standardized, at least 10 check-ins before school even begins. And it ranks first in the world for child well-being. When screening is universal, struggling kids are caught early, and there's no stigma in being checked. The UK wrote it into law. Since 2020, every state school must teach children to recognize and manage their emotions, and to know where to seek help. When everyone learns it, kids flag their own struggles sooner. And Japan shows the cost of silence. An estimated 1.46 million people live in severe social withdrawal, and experts point to stigma as a major reason help comes too late. When children learn that struggling is shameful, they hide it. 3 countries, 3 very different directions. 1 shared truth. Early identification and removing shame save children from years of unnecessary suffering. You don't need a clinical degree to read the spectrum. Just 3 questions. 1, how long has this been happening? 2 weeks is the rule of thumb. 2, is it impairing daily life, school, sleep, appetite, friendships? Impairment, not intensity of emotion, is the key distinction. 3, is your usual toolkit working? If extra connection, steady routines, and honest conversations aren't moving the needle within a week or 2, that's important information. And please hear this, getting help early isn't overreacting. A conversation with your pediatrician or a child psychologist commits you to nothing. It opens a door, and it sends your child one powerful message. Your inner life matters enough to take seriously. That message alone is protective. Most rough weeks are just rough weeks, and some are telling us something important. Learning to tell the difference is one of the most loving things we can do. The full spectrum, including the detailed case studies of those two children and step-by-step support tools for each zone, is in my book, Positive Minds, a step-by-step guide to mental wellness for children. If something in this video made you pause and think, that sounds familiar, that recognition is worth following. Link in the description. Subscribe for more videos on children's mental wellness. And share this with a parent who's quietly wondering about their own child. One important note: this video is educational only and not a substitute for professional medical or mental health care. If anything here raised concerns about your child or about your own well-being, please reach out to your pediatrician or a qualified professional. Your family's mental health matters.